Our friend Tony Khan is here. We've got AEW Blood and Guts Wednesday, TBS. But before we get to that, Lucy, real quick, update me on what I was asking you about fines the NCAA has levied. I feel really ignorant here.
So Oklahoma State basketball was the last sort of big violation we saw. They were only fined $10,000 plus 1% of the budget, but they also got a postseason ban. Whereas you look at what happened with Penn State, that was a $60 million fine. So they have been giving out fines for a long time.
How do I not even remember a $60 million fine? I don't even remember it. I'm an idiot. I don't remember the NCAA. What do they do with that money? The NCAA takes the money and then just feeds the NCAA?
Well, I hope in that case they disperse through victims of what was going on there. I don't know how it works as a business plan outside of not paying the labor.
Tony Khan with us. I don't think he has any answers to these questions, but I'm sure that there was a lot of money involved when you've sold the giant yacht or you're about to sell the giant yacht. Who can afford your family's giant yacht?
Well, I think it's an exclusive list of potential buyers, but yes, the Kismet will be for sale. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. My dad is very focused on yachting and selling that yacht and auto parts and a lot of exciting stuff. I'm primarily focused on English football, and pro wrestling.
Yeah, but I'm going to ask you more questions about the yacht.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised that you didn't already work in a promo from Blood and Guts. I've heard your spots elsewhere, so I appreciate you being on your best behavior. Don't worry, we will promote like crazy. Blood and Guts, Wednesday, TBS, 8 o'clock Eastern.
Well, because we're all friends and I trust you. You know, some people, they're going to jam you up and not let you get your plugs in. But when I come here, I get this great treatment from my good friends.
Yeah, don't like it, though, because I was asking you about the yacht, and I want to know what the general asking price is. Give me a ballpark. How does this work?
I have no idea. It's in the 9 figures, but I've never had anything to do with buying a yacht or selling a yacht. It's something my dad focuses on, and I take a vacation with my family once or twice a year, never on a day where there's an AEW show or a football game. But, yeah, that's definitely my dad's focus is the yachting and auto parts.
Very good, but I have more questions. Why do you need to sell the absurdly giant yacht to get a different yacht? That yacht seemed plenty fine to me. It was pretty amazing.
Well, my dad's building another one. This will be his 4th yacht, and it's something he really enjoys. He charters this one out when he's not using it. And I think it would be unnecessary and not practical to have 2 yachts. So that's why he's selling this one as he constructs the next one.
Okay. Yes. Some people would argue that having the first yacht is impractical at that size. Does it not rent out for like $1 million a week or more for something like that?
I think it's more.
And what would you say, if you were trying to impress people, are the coolest things on the now antiquated, outdated yacht that is no longer good enough for the Cons?
It's a great yacht. It's not that at all. I don't know why he's building another one, but it's certainly not for lack of quality of the current Kismet. But definitely he's got some exciting stuff planned for the next one. As it stands, I love this one. And if he's kept this one the rest of my life, I'd be very, 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 very happy with it. I'm very grateful.
You didn't answer my question. What are the coolest things? What would you say? You're trying to impress a stranger. You're trying to say, look at this amazing thing. You would say what?
It's the quality of the artwork, the quality of really overall the size of the boat. I've never tried to impress somebody by talking about a boat before, believe it or not. So if you're coming on your show, I probably don't sound
I was giving you a
natural.
hypothetical. I understand that you're not showing off your wealth in an ostentatious fashion. I'm asking the question.
Let's ask why the upgrade? Was there a feature that was missing on the old super yacht?
That's the thing.
Like, what if it was this hugely expensive? It has a helipad and boats inside of boats. Yeah, but it doesn't have an ice maker.
It's got boats. No, it's got multiple boats.
But it didn't have an ice maker, so your dad was just like, I got to get a new one.
Definitely got an ice maker and a great kitchen staff. It's a great, great yacht. Whoever ends up buying it will be getting a deal, I'm sure. I don't know all that much about it.
Tony Baselli comes with the boat, too. That's what people don't know. You also get Tony Baselli.
Speaking of which, I have to say, Tony Baselli was inducted this year into the NFL Hall of Fame this past year. He's the first ever Jacksonville Jaguar in the Hall of Fame. We're so proud of that. And our friend Stugotz had a lot to do with that. Stugotz was one of the people in the room helping drive people to vote for Tony Baselli, along with a lot of other great people in the media, because believe it or not, it wasn't the first time he'd been up for the candidacy for the Hall of Fame, and he should have gotten in a lot sooner. But our good friend Stugotz was one of the people who helped drive the bus on that. And fittingly enough, I was actually supposed to hang out with Stugotz last night. We had plans, and mechanical issues stopped us from going to the Dead & Company show together. So Stugotz went without me.
I can't believe Stugotz is just hitting up any famous person that's going. Well, I can actually believe that he's doing that.
What is surprising about
but
that?
Well, I'm linked to the band, Mike, because my business partner is their manager. So
no, and he's fully taken advantage of that link, hasn't he?
We're friends, right? You don't take advantage of your friends. You do things for friends.
Speaking of, I'm going to London at the end of August for All Out, so I'm going to need to hook me up. And also, Fulham is playing Arsenal that same weekend. I've got to hook up over at Bournemouth now, so you're going to have to step up to the
Tony,
table. The ask
what
is coming.
kind of life principle absolutism is that you can't be taken advantage of if they're your friend? That's asinine.
Well, you can be taken advantage of, but you can do favors and things for friends within reason. I mean, that's why you have friends, and that's why friends have you, to help each other out, right?
Precisely. You scratch my back, I scratch Blood and Guts. AEW, TBS.
There you go. Thank you, Mike.
8
That's
p.m.
the kind of plug I need. Wednesday Night Dynamite, Blood and Guts, TBS. And before I get to that, Mike, yeah, 100%. We would love to have you at Fulham versus Arsenal, and we would absolutely love to have you at AEW All In at Wembley Stadium on August 27th. But before then, this Wednesday is one of our biggest shows we do all year. It's become, I believe, at least in the wrestling culture, a real cultural event. AEW Blood and Guts is this really special double cage match we do every year. It's this Wednesday night on TBS. I'm really, really excited about it. And we're on the road to the biggest wrestling event in the history of Europe, and one of the biggest wrestling events in the history of the world, which is AEW All In. And it was on this very show where I came in and talked to you guys when I first launched AEW about the business. And now we've hit the biggest heights we've ever hit. We're on the verge of doing a show that will eclipse even the biggest WrestleMania shows in terms of revenue and sales and tickets sold. And that's pretty exciting.
You brought up Kota Ibushi, who many wrestling fans are familiar with for his work over in New Japan Pro Wrestling, linking up with Kenny Omega again. One of the better stories in the history of Japanese wrestling, their history. And you have this sweet double cage match, but every year it seems like injuries are getting in the way. You finally had the dream match with Bryan Danielson in the main event against Okada, and he ends up getting hurt, changing your booking plans. Give me a percentage point. Dream matches that you've been trying to get off the ground, but just for some reason or another, be it injury or in locker room fights, that you just haven't been able to happen.
Maybe 20% of them have been postponed or changed, but we've had so many great classic matches in AEW over the years. And right now, going into this Wembley Stadium show, I think we're clicking in a way that we never have. In 2021, some of the biggest free agents in wrestling came in. The company got red hot. And a lot of times in wrestling, when you got something really good going, it can take people time to catch up with it. Right now, there's so much cool stuff happening in AEW. We recently launched another show, Saturday Night Collision on TNT, and that's going very, very well. That coincided with the return of CM Punk to AEW, which I think you alluded to before. That's been very, very successful for us. And all of it's coming together now for our biggest super show, this Wembley Stadium show in August. And the biggest episode of Wednesday Night Dynamite all year is this week, this Wednesday on TBS. So many of the big dream matches we planned have come off. But yeah, injuries really happen, especially with this hard-hitting, intense style of pro wrestling that we have in AEW. It has jammed up some of our big plans. But, you know, in pro wrestling, that's the beauty of it. We have such a great roster. There's so many great people here. And right now, I feel like things have really come together. In addition to the Blood and Guts, Mike, you've been texting me all the time because I know you're a big fan of Adam Cole and the world champion, MJF.
Yeah, that's a big sports entertainment type of gimmick. It's like a throwback to the Rock and Sock connection, and so I'm really enjoying that. We only have 2 minutes with you here. I saw it being reported that there's been a health and safety change in your policy a little bit, with certain moves being outlawed and a whole new policy? Is it because, per your quotes, 20% of the matches that you've been trying to get off the ground don't end up happening because of injury or other stuff? Are you trying to build a safer brand so you can actually get to some of these dream matches?
Yes, I want to have really a great pro wrestling company, a hard-hitting pro wrestling company. And those aren't really crazy changes. It's nothing that's going to change the show. It's really more guidelines for the referees as much as anything else. And it's good stuff for the wrestlers to know. You know, while I'm here, I don't get to see you very often, but I'm very grateful that you had me on the show. It's a really important week for AEW. And crazy enough, it coincides with Fulham coming to America. We've got the U.S. tour for Fulham Football Club in the Premier League, and I'm really excited about that. So we have Blood and Guts in Boston, and then Saturday Night Collision for AEW in Newark, and a short drive down to Philadelphia for the start of the Fulham U.S. tour. So it's a crazy, exciting time right now.
I've got one soccer question. We've only got about a minute left with you, Tony, so I'm sorry to step on you. But you mentioned Fulham, and there's links with your striker, Mitrovic, who's one of the best, certainly when he's in the championship level. And in the Premier League, he finally flashed it too last year, and you guys stayed up. Congrats on that. But Saudi Arabia is now a real presence in world football, and they're buying players very aggressively. What are your thoughts on Saudi Arabia being this aggressive?
That's amazing. I think if you have enough money, you can get away with anything, including murder, and, you know, try to sign up all the top players in the world. Certainly they have approached a lot of great players, and I'm very, very interested to see where this goes. But for us, we're definitely committed to keeping our top stars and doing what it'll take. We've got a great, great, great team. We had a great season. It was one of the best seasons in the history of Fulham. And I'm really excited about this coming season, and you'll get a good look at them firsthand. Hopefully you'll make it up for the U.S. tour, Mike.
AEW Blood of Jesus and Guts this Wednesday on TBS. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate your time, sir. Always good seeing you. I'm embarrassed and I'm sorry that all of our people just hit you up for good tickets. Thank you, sir. Nice seeing you.
Good to see you. Thanks, Dan.